Okay, so as you can see, I've moved to my bedroom. I feel like there's a little bit more space to work here on my desk, which I love. Then there is in the kitchen. I've got a baking sheet here, so I don't get a bunch of spices on my desk pad. Now, previously, I would use this Tone's taco seasoning blend container to hold the bulk of the ramen spice, transferring it into smaller shakers to either take with me to work, keep one at my desk there, or just generally use. It's a little bit easier to shake. I like to use ones that have larger holes like this, because as you can see with some of the chunks of onion that are in there, the chopped onion, and some of the other larger spices, they just don't flow very well through smaller holes. But all of this is not going to fit in this, obviously. So what we have here is pup mix. I think this will do the job. Oh. When I was a kid, so 7 ounces of garlic powder. When I was a kid, I would make my ramen and I would put chili powder and taco seasoning and seasoned salt and pepper and anything else that was really in the cabinet in there. It was fun, but it was a little bit different every time. It was great. But we got 7 ounces of paprika. It took a while to make. And once I got older and had my own kitchen, and the spices didn't have to be kept separate for other people to cook with, I decided that since I only really make things one way, spicy, I could just combine all the things I like in one handy container. Just shake it on. I don't put things like the seasoned salt in there anymore because it's just not... Most of the time when I'm using it, it's in ramen, which already has way more sodium than I need. This is just some cayenne pepper. 2 ounces of cayenne pepper. It's always a good baseline. Pretty normal stuff so far. Got 7 ounces of turmeric here. Knock some of the stuff out of the top. I don't need it just exploding everywhere when I cut it. You can tell my knife is very dull right now. Oh, that smells good. Oh man, that smells good. I've often made ramen spice out of like 10 little dollar spice shakers that you'd get at Walmart. Just mix them all together. A little bit more chili powder. And they'll pretty much work for me. Speaking of chili powder, I found this one here today. Looks like it should be pretty good. It's 14 ounces. I didn't notice that was a larger bag when I got it, but I'm not mad at it. Almost actually bought a larger bag than this, so I got that there. I also thought about wearing gloves so I don't rub chili powder in my eyes, but live and learn. Then get gloves. How about there? I hear you, kitten. And we're actually getting pretty full already. It's not what I'm wanting. But those are some of the main things. Let's see what we had here. This is fenugreek. I've never included that before. I'm not really sure what it tastes like plain. That is a kitchen helper. I'm cooking. Come on, scamp. All right. We'll see. I don't really know how to describe that. It's kind of bitter. Tastes like a plant. Kind of like chewing on, not quite oak leaves, but something I'd find in the yard. Do I want 7 ounces of it in my... yeah. Let's put in about half of it. We'll set some of it aside for the next batch. I don't think we need... that's a pretty strong flavor. We'll set a few ounces aside. This is coriander. And coriander plain tastes like... There's probably not a whole container of this either. We'll put some coriander in there. This I am excited about. This is... I don't think you can see that. Super hot dried chili crush. 6 ounces. It's unusual for spice. I feel like I'm opening a can of tennis balls. Picked a great day to have short nails, Jane. Yeah, that smells hot. Go ahead and save some of that back for the next batch. I have to test this and see how hot it is before I add too much. I'm not the only one that eats this. That being said, what else do we have here? Some chopped onion. This is ground pepper from Cameroon. Guessing since it doesn't have instructions, it's just ground pepper, or ingredients, that's just ground pepper. How's this open? Peanut butter style. But paper? Kind of a foam. Oh man, that is not black pepper. That is something spicy. Something exceedingly spicy. I'll put that in there too. That's good. We'll just start with a little bit of that. Might not need the whole 4-ounce jar. This is really good. Really good pizza seasoning. One thing for this though is it is pretty huge chunks because it's for baking and not pizza and stuff. It's not really for stirring into your ramen necessarily, so it does have some pretty good size pieces in there once they get swelled up with water. Okay. This fennel really wants to stay up in the top corner here. Come on. Oh, it's just going to be there. Nothing else has behaved this way so far. Let's see. Go ahead and dump this fennel in. I know I like fennel. Nice. We're going to run out of space, so I'm going to set some of it off to the side. What else do I have here in the small containers? Ground cardamom. Just dump about half of that in there, so it's about not a lot, but I can smell that from here as a strong one. This is ground banga leaves, which I've never tried, but I saw it at the store today. And I assume it can be opened. Probably exploding everywhere when I do. Let's see. Oh, parts of this are sharp. Don't explode, don't explode, don't explode. Let me set it on the table. Got it. Oh, the whole thing. Yeah, that would have gone everywhere if I hadn't set it down. All right. It smells good. Oh, wow. That's a leaf? That tastes almost like beef bouillon. Oh, well, whatever. So I'll put that in there. I'll look that up later and find out. I know what kind of plant a banga is. I do have some Carolina Reaper powder that I picked up from Magic Plants online. I've just had for a while. I'll just go ahead and throw that in there too. It needs to get used up. And this is another spice that I'm not familiar with. Let me look that up real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so looking this up online, it's not a spice itself. I mean, it's not a single spice. It's a spice mixture, much like I'm working on here, which includes chili peppers, garlic, ginger, which is something that I had in the last batch, but I don't think I have any extra. I don't think I have ginger here today. Basil, korarima, rue, ajwain, or red honey, nigella, and fenugreek, which we had over there. And it's used in the cuisines of Ethiopia and Eritrea. Cool. So it's just a mix of spicy food. I like it. So this is all going in if it'll fit. That will come down. And we'll knife it. There we go. Always carry a dull knife. Otherwise it'll be too easy to cut things. You won't have adventures. Alright. Put that in. We've got another 14-ounce bag there. Ooh, that's going to be too full. Alright, we need some space in there for things to move around, so we'll save the rest of this back, I guess, for the next batch. I'll find something to seal those up in. And this other bag of paprika that I got is going to have to get saved back. I don't know if I put cumin in. I think I put some cumin in, but it's important to have cumin. Oh, that's good. And with all ramen spice that I work on, it is important to carry over the remains of the last batch. So we'll dump in this container, which I'll be refilling shortly. And we'll dump in this container. As you can see, the plastic, well, you may or may not be able to see, the plastic of this container, and which you can really pick up on the inside where the label was, has yellowed considerably, primarily from the turmeric that was in it. But I've got that in there now. The next step is going to be to make sure we didn't miss anything. Doesn't look like it. So we've got that. Right now we've got beautiful sand art sculpture here. Oh, we've got plenty of room to move around. I thought it was going to be a little more tight than that in there. So not enough room to get a ton of profit out of shaking it. And I don't want to push the limits on what this container can necessarily hold. We can do a little bit of shaking. Making sure not unscrew the lid. My eyes are watering real bad in here. There's a lot of spice in the air. And I'll use this on pizza, use it in mac and cheese, use it in my burritos that I make. Use it on fresh vegetables. If I'm just eating like some raw cucumber or carrots or something, I like this on there. Let's see. Some of this, it doesn't really matter how well it's mixed, because it doesn't matter if you get a bunch of, if one meal's a little spicier than the next, but I would like that which is this, the ½ ounce of Carolina Reaper to not all be in one spot. That could be a rude surprise. As you can see, a little bit off on that because we got the turmeric in here that this doesn't have. But it does sort of take a more even tone when you compare it to what we started with. Some of the garlic and the cumin clump up in there still. Actually, I think that's a piece of onion. But so far so good. Now this label's not quite accurate anymore. This is now ramen spice. It's not very easy to read. It's purple Sharpie. And today is July 10th of, what year is it? 2019. Although I don't really expect it to go bad or anything. Spices will lose flavor over time as they're exposed to air. Some of them will anyway. I assume all of them will. The oils will lose some of the flavor. But I think there's enough flavor in this that it's going to hold up okay. So we have a little bit of space there in the top. I'm going to wait to add anything else until I've tested it a little bit more. Actually, that's not true. I think I can safely add some of this old Tones garlic that my mom gave me. So I like garlic. Oh, there that goes. So we've got the barrier, although some of it missed over. All right, so you can see maybe you can see the garlic clouds coming up. Knock stuff out everywhere. Okay, so we got that there. Potent stuff. All right, we'll dust this off a little bit. And take our garlic container. Set that back over there. We've got that pile of garlic in the top. And we'll shake it around through. And as I use this and transfer it into other containers, because I'm not going to be using it out of this directly probably, but as I move it into things like this, it'll keep shaking up as I go. So that is, I believe, everything for that.